Hey guys, this is your host. Today we are going to read a short story for you. The story is called The Forgotten Childhood. In a small dusty town in India lived a boy named Raju. Raju woke up every morning before the sun, his small body filled with energy. His day started with collecting scrap metal from the garbage heaps. Like Sahib from the Lesson Lost Spring, Raju dreamed of going to school, learning new things and becoming an engineer one day. He would collect the discarded metal pieces, sort them out and sell them to the local junkyard owner. Though his hands became rough and his clothes torn, Rayu's spirit remained unbroken. Every evening when the sun painted the sky with hues of orange and pink, Rayu would return home with a small amount of money. His house was a small, dilapidated structure with a tin roof that made a sad, lonely sound in the wind. Inside, his mother would wait anxiously for his return. His father had left them many years ago, and they had no one else to depend on but themselves. As soon as Raju entered the house, his mother would start asking him about the day, trying to find out if anything good or bad had happened. Raju would share everything with her, his hopes, his dreams, and his fears. His mother listened patiently, her heart aching for her son. She knew how much Raju loved the idea of going to school, but she also knew that it was just a dream. There was no school near their home, and sending Raju to a distant one was beyond their means. Plus, Raju was needed at home to help with whatever little money he earned. The thought of her son's bright and hopeful eyes made her sad. She wondered why life had been so unfair to them. Why did they have to live in poverty? Why did her son have to grow up without the joy of childhood? These questions echoed in her heart, unanswered. One day, while rummaging through the trash, Raju found an old book. It was a textbook, and the moment he saw it, his heart skipped a beat. He opened it carefully, and the pages, though torn and dirty, looked like a treasure to him. As he turned through the book, he saw pictures of children in neat uniforms attending school. It made him sad that he could never experience that. When Raju returned home with the book, his mother was worried that he might get hurt or fall ill due to the trash. But when she saw the book in his hand, she understood it. She knew that for Raju, this book was more than just pages and words. It represented a world that he yearned to be a part of, a world where there were schools and teachers and books and, most importantly, dreams. Days turned into weeks, and Raju continued his routine, collecting scrap, returning home, eating dinner, sleeping. One night, after a particularly hard day, Raju was exhausted. He had walked long distances, carrying heavy loads, and his feet were hurting. When he told his mother about it, she looked at him with love and pity. "Why don't you take a break, Raju?" she asked gently. "You can't keep working like this forever." Raju looked at her, surprised. "But what will we eat if I don't work?" he asked innocently. His mother sighed. She knew that this was the harsh reality of their lives. They needed money to survive, and Rayu's work was the only way to earn it. She pulled Raju into a tight hug. "I know, my son," she said softly, "but I wish things were different. I wish you didn't have to work so hard." She felt a lump forming in her throat, and tears welled up in her eyes. She blinked them away quickly, not wanting Raju to worry. "Don't you worry, Raju," she said, forcing a smile. "Everything will be all right." But as she watched her son sleep that night, she couldn't help but wonder if it ever would be. Meanwhile, not far away from Raju's house, lived a girl named Meena. Meena's family made bangles. She and her sisters would sit on the floor, their nimble fingers working quickly to create colorful glass bangles that would be sold in the market. Like many other children in the area, Meena had to work because her family depended on the money she earned. Meena dreamed of becoming a teacher one day, someone who could inspire other children and shape their lives. She imagined herself standing in front of a class, holding a book and sharing stories and knowledge with eager young minds. The thought gave her happiness, a brief escape from the drudgery of her daily life. However, reality was far from her dreams. Her days were filled with the repetitive task of shaping glass and working in dimly lit rooms with barely any fresh air. The glass shards often cut her fingers, leaving tiny wounds that stung and reminded her of the harsh reality she couldn't escape. Despite the difficulties, Meena never lost hope. Whenever she had a free moment, she would take out her notebook and study. She taught herself to read and write by reading storybooks that customers brought with them. She wanted to be a beacon of hope for other children like her, showing them that even in the darkest of times, dreams could light the way. Yet, the weight of her responsibilities often felt like a burden. She knew that her family depended on her income, and the thought of letting them down kept her going. Sometimes, when looking at children playing in the street, she felt a pang of longing. She missed the carefree days of childhood, the joy of running and jumping without a care in the world. One day, while Meena was working on a new batch of bangles, a customer noticed her. He saw the dedication and focus in her eyes and the nimble fingers working tirelessly. He was impressed by her skills, and her story touched his heart. He was an education activist who worked with underprivileged children in the area. He talked to Meena and was moved by her desire to learn and become a teacher. He offered her a chance to attend night classes where she could continue working during the day and study in the evenings. Meena's eyes widened with surprise and gratitude. She thanked the man and promised to work hard to achieve her dream. This unexpected opportunity gave Meena renewed hope. With determination in her heart, she started attending classes. After a long day of work, she would come home, eat dinner, and then rush to the night school. It was hard, but her dream of becoming a teacher kept her going. The classroom was filled with other children who had similar dreams and aspirations. Together, they studied, shared their experiences, and encouraged each other to keep going. For Meena, this was more than just a place of learning. It was a place of empowerment, a place where she could see a glimpse of her future. She excelled in her classes, impressing her teachers with her intelligence and eagerness to learn. Her classmates admired her dedication and they formed a close bond. As the years passed, Mina's life took a positive turn. She completed her education and landed a job as a teacher in a local school. She became a role model for other children in her community, proving that dreams could come true even in the face of adversity. Meanwhile, Ryu's life continued to be a struggle. He worked hard every day collecting scrap metal, but he never lost hope. He dreamed of going to school one day and becoming an engineer. Raju and Mina's paths never crossed. But their stories were not much different from the countless children around them who lost their spring, their childhood to the harshness of survival. Yet amidst all the struggles, they held on to hope, dreaming of better days and a future where children could just be children. And that's our story for today. If you enjoyed listening to this story, then do like and share. Also, let us know in the comments what you think about the story. We will see you next time with a new story. Until then, goodbye.